I'm just going to start that before every single episode from now on. It's going to be my catch thing. Um, Everybody, welcome to Monday's edition of Everything Yesterday This Morning. This week, had a weekend, had a lot going on, but mostly surrounding the Ukraine situation. Again, it's difficult when all that comes out is about that. And boy, has there been a lot of propaganda and misinformation coming out of this, and much of it being perpetrated by, shocker, blue checkmark individuals passing on footage and videos and pictures that are not currently from this event. So, um, let's start with Biden nominates Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court to fill Justice Breyer's retirement. Some key quotes from Biden that came out today as we watch freedom and liberty under attack abroad. I'm here to fulfill my responsibilities under the Constitution to preserve freedom and liberty here in the United States of America. Oh, the irony. In addition to that, he said, for too long, our courts haven't looked like America. I believe it's time we had a court that reflects the full talents and greatness of our nation with a nominee of extraordinary qualifications, and that we inspire all young people to believe that they can one day serve their country at the highest level. The article goes on to say that this is a chance to excite the Democratic base. The selection gives Joe Biden a chance to deliver on one of his top campaign promises, and his hope is that it will bring or help Black voters that were crucial in his election see a return on their investment. Okay, next up we have Vladimir Putin placed an order to put Russia's deterrence forces, which include nuclear arms, on high alert this weekend. In response to him having done so, our administration released their quote, nuclear explosion guidance over the weekend. Um, First, this discusses some of the ways in which a nuclear device can be delivered, and then it discusses the measures and steps that citizens can take in the event of a nuclear explosion. Some of the guidance includes get inside the nearest building to avoid radiation. Brick or concrete are best. Removal of contaminated clothing and remove all contaminated clothing and wipe off or wash unprotected skin and getting to the basement or the middle of the building. In addition to these common recommendations, though, the Biden administration wants to also say that you should stay away from the outer walls and roof and try to maintain a safe distance of at least 6 feet between yourself and other people who are not a part of your household. And if possible, wear a mask if you're sheltering with people who are not a part of your household. That's not a joke. The Biden administration included COVID protocols in their nuclear fallout guidance. So there's that. Speaking of COVID, it sort of just disappeared as we began watching our news agencies and talking heads around the world focus on liberty and freedom for a country not our own. Nearly half of Biden's 500 million free COVID tests remain unclaimed. The White House, though, sees this as a deeper, yet more elastic testing infrastructure that will accommodate demand surges and remain on standby when cases wane. The interesting thing about how our government has responded to COVID is by putting the onerous and responsibilities on private insurers, which ends up impacting you. Private insurers are now required to cover 8 free rapid tests per person per month, and this is coming off of the heels of the ARPA program that forced employers to foot the bill for COBRA participants, as well as private insurers to foot the bill for COVID-related treatments. Problem is, these costs will be handed down to the consumers in the form of their renewals. High renewals to attempt to recoup the costs will force more competition out of the market due to unsustainability. So it's just one step further to Medicare for all. Um, North Korea fires at least one ballistic missile, according to Japan. China and North Korea are said to now be cooperating under a new, quote, situation. Xi Jinping said that his country's relationship with North Korea due to an unspecified new situation. This announcement was announced on the same day that Beijing called out Washington for sending a warship through the Taiwan Strait for the first time since November, a move that China described as provocative, while the U.S. maintains it is merely a routine journey through international waters. North Korea started cross border trade with China last month, and some believe that Kim Jong un held off on ballistic missile testing out of deference to China during the Olympics. Relations with North Korea are currently incredibly icy between them and the United States, and they refuse to come to the table with the United States until, quote, it curtails its hostile policies, including sanctions. Speaking of China, the United States has tried half a dozen times over 3 months to get China to help head off the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But we're not only rebuffed by China, China went ahead and shared the information that we disclosed with Russia. The Chinese said the United States is trying to sow discord and that China would not try to impede Russian plans and actions. I've used this analogy before, but I'll share it here with you guys. The mouse in the pocket of a man who is warm and kept thinks the man is his friend until the man grows hungry and has nothing else to eat. Never ever be the mouse in someone else's pocket, Mr. Biden. Two worthwhile to mention developments in the course of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The first being that the ruble lost 40% of its value, which exceeds the worst day in the 1998 collapse. At the time, Glev Pavlovsky said that the default that followed was the second founding of the state. It is argued that what is about to happen will be the third. In addition to Russia's financial collapse due to sanctions, Russia and Ukraine are currently at the negotiating table right now, as I'm talking to you guys, in talks of a ceasefire. Russia expected this battle to go much differently, I think. Ukraine's main point in the negotiation is to achieve an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukrainian territory. Initially, Ukraine refused to send a delegation because the talks are taking place in Belarus, where Russia is currently using its territory to stage attacks. Mink said that its forces are not participating in the operation. Zelensky put out a statement, said essentially he's not hopeful regarding the negotiations, but thought if there's a chance, however small, to de escalate the situation, he would participate. So the delegation is there right now. How that goes, you guys will have to wait to find out tomorrow. Quietly, um, a national vaccine pass has been rolled out, and many states are already on board. The link is in the description for you to find out if your state is a participant in this. Um, as restrictions are lightening up, destinations around the world are continuing to require travelers to show proof of vaccination, and a paper card is not cutting it. While the U.S. federal government has not issued a federal digital vaccination pass, vacation pass, that's what it ends up being, a national standard has nevertheless emerged. According to this article, 21 states, DC, and Puerto Rico are using the Smart Health Card, which is a verifiable digital proof of vaccination. A global coalition, I love this global thing where we're just always working with global partners for things for us, um, of public and private stakeholders, including Microsoft, Bill Gates, Salesforce, Oracle, the Mayo Clinic, and other health and tech heavyweights. It says that when the QR code is pulled up, only the name, date of birth, and vaccination information are available. No other information or personal data is shared, supposedly. The code is digitally signed to ensure the card was issued from a verified location to prevent forgery. My concern is that as we continue down this path of putting our lives on a digital record to be verified and checked by all these different institutions, how close are we to social credit scores similar to what's being used in China? Oh, your digital barcode shows that you purchased an energy drink, Heather. 2 points from your social credit score. You can no longer be authorized to attend XYZ function because you do not have enough good girl points to participate in society anymore. Jen Psaki said calls for the United States to boost its own fossil fuel production in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine on the heels of Saudi Arabia committing to stand with Russia and OPEC, which has increased oil prices and will continue to do so, is a misdiagnosis. When asked about Tom Cotton's calls to reopen the Keystone Pipeline, Psaki said that his recommendations would not solve any of the U.S.'s problems. She said, I would also note that on oil leases, what this actually justifies, in President Biden's view, is the fact that we need to reduce our independence on foreign oil, on oil in general, and we need to look at other ways of having energy in our country and others. So, in other words, they will continue to let you and your family hurt, and you should not rely on them for anything different. Sacrifices need to be made, serfs, and you're the ones who will make it, and you will like it, and you will do it because they told you to. This has been an edition of Everything Yesterday This Morning. Like, follow, subscribe, share, do all the things because you love me, because you want to let me make money someday. And I appreciate all of you. You guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.